Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Thursday. So this is the last candle review of the day. I wanted to give you guys an updated review of the Apricot Cobbler fragrance that was re-released this spring. I have the new one here. The original one came out, I think it was like 2, maybe 3 years ago. And I really loved the original, so I was excited to see this one come back. So I just wanted to give you guys like a brief overview of the fragrance and kind of what I get, but mostly talk about the performance, if it's different from the original. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. I'll put a link to this candle in the description box down below, so if you would like to go read up more about this one, check out other people's reviews. That information will be down there. All right, so your notes on this one are juicy apricot, pie crust, clover honey, brown sugar, and vanilla cream. The clanking is itself. Sorry. He lives here. We just kind of let him do his thing. All right. So in terms of the fragrance itself, this is a delicious one, you guys. It's definitely a gourmand. The apricot that is in here is not overly sweet, but I don't feel like apricots are like the sweetest fruit there is either. I mean, I guess, well, most of the apricots that I've eaten in my life have been sweet, but not sweet like how really ripe peaches are sweet or how really ripe nectarines are sweet. I'm trying to compare it to other stone fruits. So I feel like nectarine and peaches, especially when they're at their ripest, are definitely sweeter than apricots are. There is a really nice crust note in this. It's more, well, I guess you could go either crust or you could go kind of like a streusel topping type note. For me, that one can kind of go either way, but there's definitely like a crustiness or a streusel-ness to this for sure. I don't really get much in the way of clover honey, but I do get a brown sugar note. There is definitely, brown sugar has that like kind of molasses scent to it. Are you okay? Just gagging on your bone? It has that kind of like molasses note to it, and you can definitely smell that in here. And there is, you know, a little bit of like a cream note, which would imply maybe like a whipped cream topping, or maybe like maybe you stuck a dollop of, can you get a dollop of ice cream? I don't know, but you had like a scoop, there we go, a scoop of like a vanilla ice cream over top. There is just something that is a little bit interesting about this one. It kind of reminds me of, if you've ever had like a smoked cocktail, you know how like they're doing these fancy cocktails now where they are like infusing a smokiness into the cocktail. It doesn't smell like smoke per se, but there's just a slight, it's almost like it just adds some depth to the candle. And I definitely smell that in this version. I don't recall smelling that like depth of fragrance or that like slight, like it's not even smokiness. I can't even think of a word for it, but I feel like if you've smelled this one, you can, hopefully you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I might be just making this stuff up in my head. I don't know, but I feel like I get like a smoked cocktail kind of effect. Now, I'm not implying that there's any booziness to this at all, but almost like it was just infused with just a touch of like an earthy, maybe smokiness. I like it. But I could see where maybe someone would prefer for this to be a little bit sweeter and to just smell more straightforward like a apricot cobbler. Overall, I still really love this scent. I think it is delicious. I think it's kind of a unique take on an apricot cobbler, and I like it. The performance, you can see that I actually have the Hurricane on the pedestal today. Lots of people have asked me about this pedestal. So this is the Ellery Hurricane from Crate & Barrel. This large one that I have, which I think was, what was it, like 11 3/4 inches. I think those were the dimensions of this one. I think that one has sold out. Now you can get a dupe of this. It's smaller, and personally I did not purchase the dupe because I prefer a little bit more airflow around my candles when they're in hurricanes. But I will link a dupe to this that's like 20 bucks in the description box down below. At the very least, you'll get this nice wood pedestal, which is what a lot of people I think have been mostly interested in. But you also get a very similar Hurricane that, you know, obviously lifts off very easily. You literally just, you know, bink, there you go. That's how you get access to your candles. So very convenient. But I have to have this one in a Hurricane because it's really the only way that I get any substantial strength and throw. And I'm using the word substantial very loosely here. It's, this is not a house filler. The strength of this without the Hurricane is only about a 4 out of 10. The throw is also kind of right in line with that. It's not a house filler at all. It's certainly noticeable when you walk into the room where it's burning, but it kind of is like a one-room candle. When I have it here in the entryway, it's amplified a little bit more because the airflow in this area sort of, you know, picks up the fragrance and moves it around the house a little bit better. So I have a little better strength and throw right here. But when I've had this in the family room, it just kind of stays concentrated in the area that it's put in. So I would not suggest getting this with, you know, hopes of like, you know, if you have like an open concept house, I would not have hopes of having this fill your entire home. If you live in a smaller, less open concept home, or you live in an apartment, I think you're probably going to have much better luck with this one. So I'm not saying don't get it at all. You know, this isn't like the vanilla from the Simply collection where I was just like, yeah, would not recommend. I still recommend the scent because, like I said, it's really unique and I love it. And I was so glad to see it come back, and I hope it comes back again. But I certainly hope it comes back with the original strength and throw because this is definitely less than that for sure. In terms of problems with the wicks, none. Also, there's no sooting. None of my wicks have fallen over. I do have to trim the wicks on this one. It doesn't really get mushroom tops per se, but it does get little bits that kind of fall off the wicks into the wax. It hasn't caused the wax to discolor a whole lot, but you know, I just don't think that the wicks this year are super great. I think the vast majority of the problem with the wicks, more so than like the actual like flame that you get from them, is that they are not properly attached to the wick clips. And I have lost a couple of wicks myself. Some people have the worst luck and they lose all the wicks all the time. I am not in that boat, but I also don't burn these candles for an extended period of time. This spring, the rule has been, instead of like 3.5 hours, it is like 2.5 hours, and then I blow them out. I think that has maybe saved me some of the candle drama, but you know, just a heads up there. I hope this was helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you thought this was helpful in any kind of way, and please subscribe if you're new. Let me know your thoughts in the description box, in the comments down below, and check the description box for a link to this candle and a discount code. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.